Hi there. Today we're going to explore the plot of the 2025 TV series, Welcome to Derry.
Really? Teddy? Teddy, come on, we're gonna get you out! Cause you weren't there.
The story begins on January 4th, 1962, in a small town called Derry, Maine. 13-year-old Maddie is sitting in the Capitol movie theater, watching the recently released film The Musician, loudly sucking on a pacifier. An irritated woman in the audience scolds Maddie and asks him to stop making noise. A movie theater employee named Carl notices Maddie and prepares to catch him. However, the boy runs out of the screening room and hides in the lobby behind a cardboard display. Carl's co-worker Hank approaches and asks what happened. Carl replies that this is already the third time the boy has snuck into the theater without paying for a ticket. Hank asks whether Carl has ever seen the boy's family. Carl answers that he has not. After that, Hank asks Carl to leave the boy alone and allow him to watch movies for free. Meanwhile, Hank's daughter Ronnie watches Maddie as he hides. Carl argues, saying that pity will not pay the electricity bills. Hank, not wanting to start an argument, asks Ronnie whether she saw the boy. The girl answers, yes, but instead of giving Maddie away, she deliberately points Carl in the wrong direction. When Hank and his daughter leave, Maddie takes advantage of the moment and comes out of hiding. Suddenly, Carl appears and notices him. The boy runs away, and Carl shouts after him, warning that next time he will call the police. Maddie walks along the snow-covered streets of Derry. The pacifier is still in his mouth. A bruise under his eye suggests that he comes from a troubled family. Maddie sticks out his thumb, trying to hitchhike and leave the town, but passing drivers ignore him. Eventually, one car stops. The driver rolls down the window and asks if the boy is all right. A pregnant woman, seeing that Maddie is cold, offers him a seat in the car and gives him a blanket to warm up. The man asks for Maddie's address so he can take him home. But Maddie replies that he does not care where they go, as long as it is not back to Derry, to his parents. The woman says they are heading to Portland, and Maddie agrees to go with them.
Well, we're headed to Portland, so you hitched the right ride.
During the drive, they turn on the radio. The news reports new nuclear tests in the Soviet Union. The children ask their father to change the station. The older daughter, Orlean, begins sniffing some red liquid from a container and then holds her hand out to Maddie so that he can smell it too. Suddenly, for no apparent reason, everyone in the car starts laughing. Maddie looks out the window and sees a billboard that reads, "Welcome to Derry." It turns out they are returning to the town. Maddie says that he thought they were going to Portland and asks them to stop. But the driver only turns up the volume on the radio and ignores him. The boy tries to open the car door, but it is locked. Suddenly, the entire family begins uttering random nonsensical words that sound like ritual incantations. Trying to grab the steering wheel, Maddie accidentally strikes the woman in the stomach. She goes into labor right there in the car. Instead of a human child, she gives birth to a grotesque creature, a winged, hideous mutant with two heads which immediately begins flying around the interior of the vehicle. Maddie puts the pacifier back into his mouth and tries to detach himself from what is happening. A moment later, the creature lunges at him. The pacifier flies out of the car, falls into the water, and drifts toward the sewer. 4 months pass. April arrives. We are introduced to 13-year-old Phil, who is watching an airplane. In his notebook, he writes down the various models and types of aircraft he has seen flying over Derry. Veterans of the Korean War, Captain Paulie Russo and Major Leroy Hanlon, arrive at the U.S. Air Force Base in Derry. They are personally welcomed by Colonel Fuller, who explains that the base is a key strategic facility in the event of a potential Soviet threat, and emphasizes how important it is to always remain on high alert. During the tour, Captain Russo notices a restricted area marked Special Projects. Hanlon encounters racial discrimination. Sergeant Masters openly shows contempt toward him.
Now, I am your superior commissioned officer, so I expect to be accorded the respect of said rank.
This is noticed by General Francis, who ultimately appoints Hanlon as a B-52 bomber pilot, recognizing his natural talent as an aviator. At Derry High School, a girl named Lily opens her locker, and a jar of pickles falls to the floor and shatters at her feet. Several students quietly laugh. Her friend March approaches Lily to make sure she is okay. Lily replies that she is fine, joking that she will probably smell like pickles now. Meanwhile, Phil is talking with his classmate and friend Teddy. It becomes clear that Phil is fascinated by conspiracy theories about aliens and is convinced that extraterrestrials are secretly hiding at the U.S. Air Base in Derry. Teddy tries to change the subject and asks whether Phil has studied for the exams. Phil replies that he has not, because in his opinion, the Third World War between the Soviet Union and the United States of America will begin very soon. In the evening, Phil spies on a neighbor and asks Teddy why women wear pointed bras. After that, Phil draws a comic in which an alien fights a soldier in the woods, while Teddy does his homework. Phil notices anxiety on Teddy's face and asks what is wrong. Teddy admits that today marks 4 months since the disappearance of their classmate Maddie. Phil responds indifferently that Teddy should come to terms with it and move on, but Teddy refuses to accept this, reminding Phil that the police never found Maddie's body and that he might still be alive. He also tells Phil that Maddie essentially had no friends. His mother even paid other children with candy to come to his birthday party. Thus, it becomes clear that neither Phil nor Teddy were truly close friends of Maddie. Meanwhile, we see Lily in the bathroom. She absent-mindedly touches the bracelet with a toy turtle on her wrist. The scene then shifts to Lily's memory. She recalls how on December 31st, on New Year's Eve, Maddie took her to an observation deck that had been closed for many years. Maddie explains that once Phil and Teddy found out that no one was watching the platform anymore and turned it into their secret hideout. Lily is amazed by the breathtaking view from there. Maddie and Lily open candy packages with toys inside. Lily gets a rocket, of which she already has many, while Maddie gets a turtle. Maddie then suggests that they swap toys, and Lily agrees. Maddie asks her not to tell anyone, neither Phil nor Teddy, that he brought her to the observation deck. Lily asks Maddie whether he thinks she is strange, like the other kids at school do. Maddie replies that to him she is not strange. Then he carefully asks what happened to her father a year earlier. Lily tells him that one day she and her mother went to visit her father at work. He worked at a pickle packing factory. When they had already left the factory, they realized that Lily had forgotten her toy inside. Even though it was cheap and had no real value, her father went back to retrieve it. While searching for Lily's toy, he was caught in industrial machinery. Later, rumors spread throughout the state that parts of his body ended up in jars of pickles. After this tragedy, Lily spent some time receiving treatment at a psychiatric clinic. Because of this, she was labeled Crazy Lily at school, and other children would sometimes place jars of pickles in her locker, mocking her and reminding her of her father. Maddie tells Lily that she is not to blame for anything, because it was simply an accident. At that moment, fireworks appear in the sky, and the two of them stand silently watching them. Maddie wishes Lily a happy new year, and she thanks him for listening to her and supporting her. Maddie, who is in love with Lily, tries to kiss her, but she quickly pulls away.
I'm sorry. How stupid.
Embarrassed, Maddie admits that he acted thoughtlessly. He takes his bag and says that he has to go home, because his strict father must not find out that he is out so late. Lily replies that she did not want to hurt him, and that they are still friends. But Maddie leaves with a sad expression on his face. In the present time, Lily once again looks at the bracelet with longing, when suddenly her mother interrupts her, reminding her to prepare clothes for tomorrow because they are going to the cemetery to visit her father's grave. Lily answers that she will not go. Her mother insists, since a whole year has passed and they have not visited the grave even once. Lily says that she is not ready yet. Her mother leaves her alone in the bathroom. Suddenly, Lily hears Maddie's voice coming from the bathtub drain. He is singing a song from the movie The Musician, the same film Maddie sneaked into on the night he disappeared. In despair, Lily asks where he is and through tears begs him to come back home. Suddenly, she hears another voice that says, "I won't let him come back," and a bloodied finger appears from the drain. Lily screams in panic. The next day at school, Lily tells March about what happened. March is confused because she cannot understand why Maddie would try to contact Lily from beyond if, while he was alive, they barely talked. Worried about what their classmates might think, March leads Lily into the school restroom so that no one can hear them. After all, the story about Lily communicating with Maddie through the bathtub drain sounds completely insane. March says that there are only 2 months left until summer, and Lily just needs to get through this time. If the classmates find out that she heard Maddie's voice coming from the drain, the bullying will become even worse. Meanwhile, Phil and Teddy are riding their bicycles home. Phil shares his conspiracy theories about aliens with Teddy. On the way, they run into Lily.
I need to talk to you guys.
At the observation deck, Lily says that she needs to talk to them about something important. Phil gets angry when he finds out that Maddie told Lily about this place. It turns out that Maddie had only been there once. Lily is shocked because she thought they were good friends. Phil explains that in reality, they were never truly friends. Lily tells Phil and Teddy that the previous night she heard Maddie's voice coming from the bathtub drain. Phil does not believe her. Then Teddy asks a question that makes Phil think. If Phil believes in theories about aliens, why can't he believe that Maddie might have wanted to contact someone who is still alive? Lily asks Teddy if he believes her. He answers that he does not believe her either. Upset, Lily leaves. At the Air Force Base, General Francis informs Henlon that the man who showed him disrespect has been punished, and the incident will be recorded in his flight record. The general makes it clear that there will be no racism on his base. In the evening, Teddy has dinner with his family, who belong to a strict Jewish community. His father notices that his son is distracted and asks what is troubling him. Teddy asks whether it is possible that someone could be kidnapped and kept in the sewer system. His father tells him about the Buchenwald concentration camp during World War II, then becomes angry and asks him to stop fantasizing. Before going to sleep, Teddy reads a Batman comic. Suddenly, the lamp turns off by itself. He turns it back on, and after a few seconds, the light goes out again. When Teddy tries to turn the lamp on for the third time, he sees a face reflected in it, resembling a prisoner from the Buchenwald concentration camp. The lamp begins to move on its own, and Teddy screams in fear. His brother enters the room, but does not notice anything unusual. The next morning, Teddy tells Phil and Lily about what happened while they are in their secret hideout. Phil is visibly alarmed and realizes that he could be next. Teddy suggests telling the adults, but Phil refuses, believing that no one would believe them and that they would sooner be considered insane. The three of them go to the library to investigate Maddie's disappearance on their own. In the city library, they find a newspaper article about his disappearance. It states that the last person to see Maddie alive was an anonymous witness who noticed the boy trying to hitchhike. At first, the police believed that Maddie had run away from home, but after finding no traces, they shifted to the theory of a possible murder. A homeless person was suspected, but the culprit was never found. The report also mentions that shortly before his disappearance, Maddie was seen by a girl named Ronnie, who was working at the cinema with her father Hank on January 4th. The teenagers find Ronnie and try to talk to her. At first, she refuses and tells them to go away, saying that the police have already come to their house several times and that her father was the main suspect. But when she learns that Lily heard Maddie singing through the bathtub drain, Ronnie agrees to tell them everything she knows. She admits that she herself had previously heard him singing in the cinema restroom. That same night, Henlon is attacked by unknown individuals wearing gas masks, who demand that he reveal the specifications of the classified B-52 bomber. He refuses. One of the attackers points a weapon at him, but Henlon replies that he will not say anything even under threat. At that moment, Rusa knocks on the door. Taking advantage of the distraction, Henlon attacks the intruders. Rusa breaks down the door and joins the fight. The attackers flee. Rusa asks who they were, but Henlon has no idea. Teddy, Lily, Ronnie, Phil, and Phil's younger sister Susie, who came along for company, enter the Capitol Cinema. While Ronnie starts the film, The Musician, during the screening of which Maddie was last seen, Teddy begins to cry in the auditorium. He confesses that he cannot stop thinking about Maddie's disappearance. Lily says that Maddie needed her, but she pushed him away. Phil says that it is no one's fault, but he also begins to cry. The film begins. At first, there is nothing strange on the screen, but suddenly Maddie appears, right inside the movie. He is holding a two-headed mutant baby in his arms, the very creature that attacked him in the car 4 months earlier. The family that picked Maddie up while he was hitchhiking also appears on screen. The teenagers try to talk to him, but Maddie is not happy to see them. He says that when he needed them the most, they were not there.
'Cause you weren't there.
At that moment, the two-headed baby begins to cry. Maddie lowers his head, and when he raises it again, his face becomes distorted. He throws the mutant toward the screen, and it grows in size and bursts out of the film directly into the auditorium. The creature begins to fly around, causing panic. Phil suggests that this mutant might have been created at the U.S. Air Base. The creature attacks Phil, then Teddy. Ronnie, who is in the projection room, tries to escape, but the door slams shut, locking her inside. Lily desperately tries to save Susie, but the creature attacks her as well. Ronnie eventually manages to get out of the projection room. She runs to Lily, and together they escape outside. Ronnie slams the door shut, locking the creature inside the cinema. Lily is left in a state of deep shock from everything she has witnessed. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.